Alright. See if this is working. I probably need a mic. Test, test. Alright, so I'm working on a game in HTML5 wherein you have a spaceship. That spaceship is made out of parts. Major parts that matter are thrusters. You put those thrusters on however you want, but according to where you place them and what orientation you place them, it will affect the performance profile or maneuverability of your ship, because the ship is moved by actually firing those thrusters and performing the acceleration and velocity calculations. Being able to do that sounds cool, but then you have to be able to control the ship. And initially I wrote some code where you could control each of the thrusters individually, but that is very difficult even at 3 engines. And 3 engines is the minimum number of thrusters you need to be able to move forward and backwards and rotate. And you don't even get strafe at that point. So here you can see that I have a ship which the thrusters are being controlled by computer. So I'm using directional keys on my keyboard, and I'm also using a mouse. Currently it's ignoring rotation, so it's ignoring the mouse. But when I press left on my keyboard, it looks at all the different thrusters and decides which ones it needs to fire in order to gain that thrust. And if I let go of them, then it wants to maintain 0 thrust, so it fires more thrusters. There's a little bit of oscillation, but if I turned off those little red lines, you wouldn't even note it. So that's kind of what you want. It's a nice dynamic system. I can add and remove thrusters and it'll still perform correctly. And that was achieved using PID controllers, thanks to my friend Nick Robinson. So it's 90% done. The problem being that rotation is somehow messed up. So if I try and enable rotation right now, reset this, you can see that it starts spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And it goes on forever. What's interesting about this is the whole left quadrant. So I've got it set up so that 0 degrees or 0 radians is straight up. So the whole left quadrant right here will not initiate any rotational velocity. And probably that's because this would equate to a negative acceleration, negative angular acceleration. And then as soon as I cross the boundary, then that's a positive. So I think the PID controllers, which are all one directional, are working for the positive but not for the negative. And I need to figure out why. But so yeah, that's what I am up to. So close.